Welcome to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge, your front row seat to the boldest ideas and smartest strategies in the marketing game. Your host is Reed Hansen, Chief Growth Officer at MarketSurge.
Hello and welcome back to Inside Marketing with MarketSurge. Today we're joined by someone who's built a marketing agency that's anything but ordinary. REBL Risty is the founder and head REBL at REBL Marketing, a B2B marketing agency that helps companies stand out in crowded markets without using the same generic tactics. She has a background that spans from corporate communications, marketing leadership, and entrepreneurship. She has mastered aligning strategy with execution. That is something that most businesses really struggle with. She is passionate about helping companies clarify their voice, simplify their message, and scale their impact. And she's doing great work with AI tools and workflows. We're going to dig into how REBL and her team at REBL Marketing turn complex ideas into the marketing strategies that actually resonate. Welcome to the podcast.
Wow, that's like the best introduction I've received in a long time.
Okay.
Thank you. I sound really awesome.
Great. That's a good transition into our first icebreaker question. I would love to know, I don't know if you're familiar with professional wrestling, but when they come in, there is typically, before they even enter the arena, there's a blast of music and everybody recognizes the theme music. If you had a theme song, and I can give you a second to think about it, if you had a theme song that would greet your entrance every time you entered a room, what do you think would be most appropriate?
You know, it's so funny when I actually know what song it is. It's I've Got the Power, and I'm trying to think of the band that sings it. But it was one I used to listen to, like if I was going to go in an interview or pitch or do something. I'll have to look up.
It's not
who
like Factory, or is it?
Might
It's like
be.
similar era though, right?
Yes, very similar area.
Okay.
Era, yeah.
Interesting. I love it. That's a great choice and quite telling. So your marketing agency is called REBL Marketing, and then you also have an AI group as well. So what made
REBL Labs.
REBL Labs, exactly. Thank you for that. What made you lean into that rebellious theme, and where was the moment where you thought that maybe just traditional, boring just isn't going to cut it?
Well, let's see. It actually started off with me getting laid off. I was, working at one of the big agencies in town in San Diego, and it was '08, and a lot of businesses were cutting back on marketing. Our two biggest clients were the airport and the port, and me and the PR associate got laid off. And so what do? You start consulting, you start your own thing. But well, I looked for a real job, and that's kind of how REBL started. But I did find a real job. I worked at the World Trade Center for a while, and then actually was at Qualcomm. So I did a number of different positions with REBL, kind of always on the side, doing little ad hoc things here. And then a good friend of mine who started her accounting and finance company, she started really growing fast. And so she was asking me, can you write this newsletter? Can you help me with this flyer? And I'm like, you should really pay me. And she goes, well, you should start your own agency. And still about 2 years later, it took me to get to that point, but I did go full-time 8 years ago.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah. I love how your story starts with getting laid off, because I feel like I've had similar experiences, and it can be a jarring and traumatic experience. You're like, but I was willing to do the work. Why am I being punished for seemingly just a random event? And I love the fact that there are so many people that have really emerged, and that's been the impetus to go into entrepreneurship or make a career pivot. And I think that's fantastic, and appreciate the further affirmation of that thought.
Yeah. No, it's true. I had a fellow consultant early on. We talked about, is it better to, have your own business, consulting, or have a job? And she put it great. Like, a job's secure until you get let go, or you get fired, right? So, but if you have your own thing, you're consulting, you're an entrepreneur, you have multiple kind of sticks in the fire. So one client leaves, it's okay. You've got other clients, and you can kind of maneuver faster. So but to each their own. I know not everybody loves running a business or being an entrepreneur. My husband, one of them, he's an engineer. He likes doing his engineering thing with his company. Thought of running his own consulting business just, makes his skin crawl. So
Yeah. And I think it is hard to make that leap, but once you do, for me, it's hard to imagine ever going back to the corporate world. It's so freeing to be in an entrepreneurial situation. But how would you say that your experience in corporate has shaped your approach to leading your own firm? Do you think that you've learned a lot of things not to do, or were there skills that you picked up that you wouldn't have picked up otherwise?
yeah. Well, I think the beauty of having a corporate job or working in an office space is you learn about, timelines and procedures and how to operate within a team where I've worked with some younger entrepreneurs and they struggle a little because they don't have the concept of, blocking your
Mm-hmm.
time or how to manage a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like such simple rudimentary things, but this is really what you do learn in the corporate world. It is kind of those basic administrative manage yourself
Sure.
or you're going to get fired. And then I think you're right. Some of the things that you leave behind is that so structured. I have to show up 8 to 5. You do have the freedom. I can work weekends, but everything I'm doing is now for me and my clients. And there is a direct benefit or loss, right?
Right.
So the motivation is just so much different. And I don't know, I never had a problem working from home. And my team has always been remote, even before COVID. So that was just never really a big problem for us. One time I did dream about having the big marketing office, like Mad Men and
Right.
waiting rooms and conference rooms and all of that. But the reality is today, clients don't really care
Yeah.
and they don't need to meet in an office. And if they do, we've got WeWork, co-work spaces. I used to, when I was living downtown, use the University Club, which people love to come to. So there's lots of ways to still have that kind of corporate professional feel without having to have the office space.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a great thought. And it's been my experience as well. I've worked at a few larger agencies, and it didn't having a large, beautiful space did not seem necessary at the time. Just felt like it's tradition or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that is interesting. So let's talk about Rebel marketing. And now, as we've spoken and I've followed your content, I just picture it's a very bold, colorful branding. And
You can't tell.
exactly. But you own the brand of the Rebel. What would you say has been your approach to the marketing products you produce or the services you produce? Does that tie in with these big bold colors? What's the identity in the brand?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's showing its head even more with our newest brand launch, Rebel
Yeah.
Labs, which actually takes a whole different color palette. But
Yeah.
without that, the whole idea of we're really trying to expand people's minds about how they can leverage AI and automation, and that it's not this big scary
Yeah.
thing. It's not going to take your job. It could really actually help upskill you, and used appropriately, it can help your business function more efficiently, get more productivity out of your current team, enable you to do things that you weren't able to do
Mhm.
before, and actually get you better, ROI when you think about the cost of what it would takes to implement an AI tool, automate it, get it customized, and then once you have it set up, it's almost like, you set it, forget it. But what it will do, the huge benefit is the fact that it's low cost, is it frees your team up
Mhm.
to start being more strategic, more creative. They're not down in the weeds doing this administrative stuff. And it's interesting, I've got two sides of clients or people that I'm talking to that are all in and they love it and they want to try everything, and those that are just, and I don't blame them. They're still a little scared. They're hesitant. They feel like it's just icky.
Mhm.
So they, but I'm happy to say that Rebel Marketing and with our new brand Rebel Labs, we're really kind of leading the charge. And I knew now, oh my gosh, a couple of years ago now, that this was the direction we wanted to go to and we really wanted to focus on.
By extension, working in the AI space, there's obviously some challenges, definitely some benefits, but of course you want to do it right when you implement an AI tool of any kind, whether it's an agent.
Yeah.
Maybe for those of us in the audience that haven't had a lot of experience with that, what are some of the pitfalls that somebody maybe either trying to do it themselves or using generic AI tools might encounter, and what are some better practices that they could use?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a couple of thoughts. I would say, like, for example, using an LLM like Chat or Claude or Gemini, probably the most common thing that most of us are doing is they want it to do 100 things all at
Yeah.
once. And that's just not possible. I mean, if you think about it, a human can't even do that, right? We're much better when we're focused.
Mhm.
And that's the same with the LLMs. So if you want, for example, you want Chat to be your content writer for social media, but you tell it, hey, I want you to write the strategy, the content, create the images, tell me when to post, da 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 da, right? It can do that to some degree, but that's when people start going, "Ugh, yuck, I don't like this. It doesn't sound right. It's not doing what I want." And the challenger is because it really can't. And if you're more focused, so we always say you got to tell it its role.
Mhm.
So you're my LinkedIn content strategist and writer, and your purpose, so your role, your purpose is to first understand my style and create a weekly plan and content. And I'm kind of making this up, right? For my LinkedIn profile. And my goal is to increase engagement and grow my audience, right? Now, here is the simple tip I tell everybody, and it's awesome. So you kind of start, just put whatever thoughts you have on paper of like how you want to focus on LinkedIn. And I'm just using that
Sure.
example. And then ask Chat, what questions do you have for me? And it will give you a series of questions to clean up that prompt and that instruction, and it will make it a world of difference. And it will also think of things that you haven't thought of, like, do you want long format, short format? What style do you want it? So things that we know inherently when we're doing it ourselves, but a AI tool doesn't know these things. So you have to tell it, and it'll kind of put it in a series. So that's my best tip and instructions for if you're trying to use one of the LLMs. Don't ask it to do everything. Get very focused and specific. And then you can tie different chat custom GPTs together through automation and make it even better. So you could have, maybe you do have a overall social media strategist, and then you've got your LinkedIn content writer because LinkedIn's different from Facebook, and then you've got Instagram, then you've got maybe a video tool. So there's lots of ways to really and then enhance. But if you're just using one like Chat, that's the best thing, is create your custom GPT, work with Chat to help you, basically.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, are there certain business tasks that you think AI is doing really well at? And are there others that are commonly used that you think it's falling on its face? Or do you have any experience with that?
Well, I think we love content
Yeah.
production, so we're playing with that constantly, and it's always getting
Yeah.
better. I still think you need a human. I wouldn't just let the thing fly and, post directly to your channels, but it can do a lot of like the research, the copywriting, create the images, stage everything, do the hashtags. I was just presented yesterday with one of my partners on automation, and he's built out an automation where it can pull like today's news
Mm.
and create a post. Well, for me to do that, I'm probably never going to get to it, number one. And if I do, then I have to write it. So there's things where it can do, yeah, kind of that automated stuff until the end point where you do need a human to check it. But I'm seeing so many different ideas. Claude now has come out with their MCPs, and you can hook it into your email, your Dropbox, your Asana, your Google Drive. And I know people that are using it and have set it up. It will go through all of their email, their inbox, categorize everything, write responses to the emails that need a response, clean out all the junk stuff, and then stage it in your draft folder. Like, I couldn't train a VA to do that.
Right. Right.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so definitely lots of practical uses. And every day I'm hearing more and more, and it's like, oh, wow, you can do that. You can do that. Another example is sales follow up, right? If you miss a call or don't get back to somebody in a timely manner, we all know everybody's so quick, right? So we can automate things like, let's say you've got somebody who fills out a form on your website, and if you're asking certain questions, you can even by their IP address figure out like where they are, what industry they're at, and then serve them customized content directly to them while the salesperson, the sales rep, before they can even get back to them. And so there's things to do that, yeah, we kind of did before through some general marketing automation, but now you can really tailor it and make it feel personal, which was so, as a marketer, oh, segment your list, you got to customize your messaging. Well, that just takes
Right.
forever. Yeah.
Yes. So you've been doing content in particular for a long time, and I've probably seen a lot of trends come and go. I wouldn't be surprised if I've heard this request. I'm not quite the specialist that you are, but I have heard this request to, like, can you make me something that will go viral? And I'd one of those, please. Have you had that request, and how do you deal with that?
Yes. Yes, we do. Usually my response is, well, you don't want to do what you have to do to go viral, number one. Usually things that go viral are insane,
Right.
right? Like Mr. Beast
Sure.
level stuff. Number two is viral doesn't equal dollars, doesn't equal
Yeah.
business, right? So I think we see a lot of things. We're like, oh my God, wouldn't it be great if I had 1 million people looking at this? Sure, but you're not selling cats. You're selling, CPA services or finance. My target audience, my clients are in the outsourced accounting, finance, HR,
Mhm.
CPAs, insurance, attorneys. I would say they're really sexy industries. Hey, these are such important
Yeah.
industries, right? So, yes, we get that a lot. Oh, I would love it if I got all these, followers or all these, views. But at the end of the day, what is it really selling? Is it just selling a gimmick, or are we really going to sell some business and get you some leads?
Yeah.
And that's usually not a viral video.
Yeah. No, that's an excellent point and a good way to help refocus. I think it's really easy to get caught up in views, subscribers, and I struggle with it too on our own content when I'm creating it.
Yeah.
But I think recognizing that B2B marketing doesn't quite work the same way as B2C is probably critical.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. For sure.
Now, and you're working with these B2B companies, you're ahead of the game. You're working on building AI workflows and tools for these clients. What do you see as other future opportunities in B2B marketing and tech over the coming years?
That's a great question. With AI, there's so much evolving and
Mhm.
changing. I do think right now, the content does feel AI-ish. It's not very clean and fresh.
Mhm.
But what we are actually doing with some of our clients, because they're accountants and CPAs and attorneys, they don't necessarily love being on camera, but we know video outperforms any other piece of content by far across all the
Yeah.
platforms. So what we're able to do now with products like HeyGen or AI Studios is take their image and create an avatar
Mhm.
that looks like them, speaks like them, and repurpose that avatar to create some videos now. So we're still personalizing it using their image, using their voice, but it's not them. They don't have to sit in front of the camera. Well, they do the first few times for us to get
Mhm.
the original video, but after that we can also pump in the script. There's no no mistakes. Oh, I have to film that again.
Right.
And it not only does it relieve them of the filming, which they love, but it's a lot less expensive because we don't have to go in studio, we don't have to have a film crew, all of those things. And the editing is so much easier because we're not editing out the the oops, I'd start over, all of that. So it's that to me, I think is going to be a game changer once B2B professionals start figuring that out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And it's funny, you're like the third person I've talked to in the last few weeks that has mentioned HeyGen specifically. You probably test a lot of these. Would you recommend that? Is that a one that you...
Yeah, so HeyGen's making some improvements. I will admit their dashboard is not very intuitive. So in that respect, I found it frustrating, but like anything, once you start getting used to it, you kind of figure it out. They have added a lot more kind of benefits and tools add-ons. Now you can also hook HeyGen into Canva, so there's some benefits
Oh,
there.
cool. Okay.
So they're doing a lot more partnerships. The other one that we liked is Vid.io.
Vid.io.
Also, that they had a little bit more kind of a simpler dashboard. They allow you to do some different things like breaking out the voice and putting in different scenes, which HeyGen is now doing. So,
Okay.
we use multiple tools
Okay.
depending, yeah. And like we use Descript for final editing to add in things if we want to add some more to the videos. So
Yeah.
you can't always just use one tool.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. And I'm always one to experiment. And actually, I have my free account set up, and I built my avatar on HeyGen, and I haven't quite made the full video yet. But it's just, and of course, we're devolving into marketing nerd talk, but this is still very interesting to me. Maybe there's a few people that agree.
This is interesting.
REBL, I mentioned I want to keep it to 25 minutes or so. And this has been great. You have a lot of great info. I would love to ask you just one final question. As we're wrapping up, just tell us what would be the 3 apps so you had to clear your phone and you could only have 3 apps on your phone. What 3 would you keep? What do you think are the most useful? And I'll give you a pass on like texting and phone. Like you can keep this on top of the 3.
I definitely chat.
Okay.
I use chat a lot. It's great for just voice talking to it. I mean, I have mine set up. She's very nice. So we have very good conversations. Awesome. Definitely chat. Oh gosh, that's a good one. I'm trying to think, what else would I want to keep? I do like having, for me, because I'm an iPhone user, just having iMovie and being able to edit. And so,
You do edit on your phone as well. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. Yeah. So sometimes I just want something quick and I don't want to send it to the editor. And gosh, 3. This is a hard question.
Sorry. I was trying to think, as I was talking what my 3 would be, but one would probably be, let's see, I'm just looking at what's most common, but
what do I have on here?
I know. I think I really like, chat is essential at this point. And then I do music. I use the Apple Music. And then probably the podcast is the other one.
Got to have that. Yep, I agree. That would have to be in there. And then I also use an app called Future for workouts.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like kind of all pre-recorded workouts. But then they also have a live coach.
Oh,
so
awesome.
she sends me a message every morning, and then I can always schedule like a 15-minute call. I can send her videos on my workouts. So,
hey.
I would probably keep that one.
All right. Renaissance woman. That's awesome. I have really enjoyed our conversation, REBL, and I've enjoyed getting to know you. If people would like to work with you, either on AI workflows or agents or on content, where can they find you?
Yeah, best place you can check us out is at REBL Labs, REBL Labs.ai. And then I'm on the socials. LinkedIn's my preferred, so you can come find me actually it's Rebecca REBL Risty. Or just call us, 858-848-7325.
All right. I'll include all those links in the show notes, and we'll be in touch. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Reed. Yeah, it was fun.
Want to stay ahead of what's actually working in marketing right now? Head over to MarketSurge.io and see how we're helping businesses grow smarter, faster, and louder. That's MarketSurge.io, because your next breakthrough shouldn't be a guess.